Alright everyone, buckle up, because the long-awaited Durin is finally here, and his official beta kit just dropped. And let me tell you, this character is nothing like what we've seen before. We're talking dual forms, 2 different elemental bursts, and one of the most complex pyro playstyles in the entire game. In today's video, we're breaking down everything: his stats, skill mechanics, passives, constellations, and how strong he really looks based on the numbers. So let's dive straight into the details and see whether Durin is going to reshape the pyro meta or just burn out fast. Starting off with Durin's base stats at level 90, health 11,840, attack 330, defense 783, critical damage 88.8%. That last one immediately stands out, 88.8% critical damage, as his ascension stat makes him a natural nuke-type DPS. His base attack is solid for a 5-star sword user, and the high critical damage scaling means you'll want to build him with critical rate and attack percent, not just raw elemental mastery. Durin is mostly designed as a pyro DPS and reaction enabler who can switch between 2 modes, light and darkness, each offering a different combat style and team synergy. Now let's see his actual kit, starting from normal, charged and plunge attacks. His basic attack string, called Flamewing Cleave, performs up to 4 sword strikes. The combo has solid scaling, with the 4th hit reaching 140%, and his charged attack hitting for a massive 224%. He also has standard plunge multipliers, so nothing unusual there. The key takeaway is that his normal attacks are just the foundation. The real fun begins with his elemental skill, where he swaps between 2 forms. Durin's skill, binary formula, fusion refinement, is where his duality starts. He purifies essence of soul and desire to perform what's called essence conversion. When you use this skill, his normal attack and skill both change into special variants for a short time. You can then choose between 2 conversions. 1. Conversion, affirmation of whitening. This deals area of effect pyro damage around him, ends the conversion, and puts him in the whitening state for 30 seconds. 2. Conversion, negation of darkness. This performs 3 forward pyro slashes, ends the conversion, and puts him in the darkness state for 30 seconds. Whitening is your light form, darkness is your shadow form, and each one changes how his elemental burst behaves later. Additionally, every time Durin activates one of these states, he restores 33 energy, but only once every 6 seconds. That's a massive boost for energy economy, meaning he can burst very often. Cooldown is 12 seconds, so you'll be rotating between states quite smoothly. Now let's talk his elemental burst. Durin's burst is where his entire design shines. It changes based on which state you're in, whitening or darkness. If you're in the whitening state, he casts Whitening Law, Flow of Light. Durin performs 3 powerful waves of area pyro damage, then summons the White Flame Dragon. This dragon follows your active character for 20 seconds, periodically breathing fire and dealing area pyro damage counted as burst damage. If you're in the darkness state, he uses Darkness Law, Stellar Ember Eclipse. This version still does 3 instances of pyro damage, but summons the Black Corrosion Dragon, which instead targets a single nearby enemy repeatedly with focused pyro damage. Both dragons last for 20 seconds, and both versions cost 70 energy with an 18-second cooldown, so his uptime is excellent. In short, White Flame equals to AoE team mode, Black Corrosion equals to single target DPS mode. This makes Durin incredibly flexible. He can handle crowd fights and boss fights equally well, just by changing his form. Now let's see what his passive talents are. First passive, Revelation of the Divine Light. This passive buffs your team depending on the form of Durin's burst. In White Flame form, when your team triggers Burning, Overloaded, Pyro Swirl, or Pyro Crystallize, The affected enemies have their Pyro, and that element's resistance reduced by 20% for 6 seconds. That's basically team-wide resistance shred, insanely strong for support synergy. In Black Corrosion form, Durin's Vaporize and Melt reaction damage is increased by 40%, turning him into a raw reaction DPS monster. Second passive, Chaos formed, like the Night. While Durin is in either Whitening or Darkness state, his burst damage increases by 50% of his attack, capped at 1,000 extra damage. Basically, his own stats feed directly into his burst power. Rewarding attack builds even more. Exploration passive, Echoes from the Earth, just a bonus, 25% extra rewards from 20-hour Munchstadt expeditions. Now let's break down his constellations, because this is where Durin becomes insane. Constellation 1, Reverse of the Red Soil, increases his burst damage by 25% and gives 2 different cycle enlightenment effects. In White Flame mode, all other teammates get 12 stacks of cycle enlightenment. Each time they deal damage, they consume a stack to gain a bonus equal to 60% of Durin's attack. Basically, he buffs everyone's damage output for 20 seconds. In Darkness mode, Durin himself gets 12 stacks instead. Every time he deals burst damage, he consumes 2 stacks to increase that damage by 100% of his attack. Casting his burst again refreshes both duration and stacks. This constellation already looks busted. It's a mix of Bennett-style team buff and personal nuke potential. Constellation 2, Bottomless Thought. For 20 seconds after his burst, whenever your team triggers Vaporize, Melt, Burning, Overloaded, Pyro Swirl, or Pyro Crystallize, they gain plus 150% Pyro damage bonus and plus 150% of that element's damage bonus for 6 seconds. This is absurdly strong. It amplifies every reaction team around him. Constellation 3 and 5 just increase the talent levels of his burst and skill respectively. Constellation 4, Overflowing Origin. When triggering the Cycle Enlightenment buff, there's a 55% chance not to consume a stack, basically letting your buffs last much longer. Constellation 6, Dual Birth. This one's pure carnage. Durin's burst damage now ignores 30% of enemies' defense, and both his dragons gain extra effects. White Flame Dragon reduces enemy defense by 30% when hit, while Black Corrosion Dragon's attacks ignore an additional 40% defense. At C6, he's straight up deleting defenses from the game. To wrap it up, Durin is a hybrid Pyro DPS and reaction enabler with one of the most flexible kits in Genshin so far. He can switch between AoE support mode and single target carry mode, offers massive reaction amplification, and has built-in energy recovery that keeps him bursting almost non-stop. His weaknesses? He's likely going to have complex rotation management, since you'll need to choose the right form for the right situation, and reaction teams will matter a lot. But in terms of numbers, this is easily one of the strongest Pyro designs since Hu Tao and Arlecchino. If his multipliers stay like this in release, Durin could become a new top-tier Pyro DPS, and potentially one of the most versatile characters in the entire game. As for his weapon, it comes with 608 base attack and 33.1% crit rate as substat at level 90. As for weapon's passive, increases elemental burst damage by 16%. After the elemental burst hits an opponent, grants Daylight Blade for 3 seconds, increases the wielder's attack by 16%, 20%, 24%, 28%, 32%, increases the attack of the on-field character other than the wielder by 12%, 15%, 18%, 21%, 24%. Additionally, if the team has the Arcane Rite effect active, Daylight Blade's bonuses are increased by 75%. This effect can still be triggered even when the wielder is off-field. All the attack percent multiplier based on R1 to R5. So that's the full breakdown of Durin's official beta kit. What do you guys think? Is he the Pyro savior Genshin needed, or just another flashy gimmick character? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, also press that hype button, and stay tuned for more 6.2 and more updates right here.